You've started your milling journey, you have your grain mill, you have your grains, and you're really excited to get started. And so you get out your grain mill, you mill your wheat, and then you bring out your trusty KitchenAid mixer that you probably got when you got married. No, my friends. No. You're not milling your grains. You're now on real adult bread, and it's time for you to get a real adult mixer. And I'm actually talking about the Bosch Universal Mixer Plus that we will be reviewing in today's video. Hey y'all, welcome back to Grains and Grit. My name is Felicia, and on this channel, I teach you all about real whole grains, all from a biblical perspective. So I teach you how to be milling your own wheat, baking that delicious bread, and more. And of course, one thing that we do on here is product reviews. So I've actually been milling my grains for over a decade now and baking with real whole grains, which is a different ball game. And I have had this channel on YouTube for about 4 years now. And incredibly enough, I have yet to do a video about one of my most trusted and beloved appliances that really helps me out here in the kitchen and that I use on an almost daily basis. Y'all, I'm talking about my beloved Bosch Universal Mixer Plus, AKA Miss Betsy. And we're gonna be doing a full review of the Bosch Universal Mixer Plus. And trust me, I have put her through it, and this is going to be a very thorough review. I've actually been using the Bosch Universal Mixer Plus for about going on almost 5 years now. I finally upgraded from my typical stand mixer that I had been using, and frankly, it kicked the bucket, gave up the ghost, said, I'm not dealing with this woman anymore. And unfortunately, that was in the middle of 2020. If you remember, there was a little thing going on in 2020, and I've really had my eye on the Bosch for a long time. Finally convinced my husband to allow me to upgrade, and he did see it as an investment and an appliance that I use a lot here in my kitchen. And it was time for me to get a big girl machine that could handle everything that I threw at her. And so unfortunately, it was on back order. I did get it in 2020, and then I started my channel in 2021. And many thanks goes to Miss Betsy here, because since I was able to upgrade my mixer, that then allowed me to finally perfect my simple yeast bread loaf recipe, which was the very first video here on this channel. And she was there with me on the very first video. Okay, so a little backstory. Here's what we're gonna cover today for this review. So first of all, I'm just gonna go through your typical basic specs. No matter what you get today, here's what it comes with, here's what all the options are, so on and so forth. And then I'm gonna be giving you my own opinion, my good, bad, ugly review, what I like, what I don't like, so on and so forth. And then we're gonna test her out because nutrimill recently came out with some new cookie paddles for this machine, and we'll talk about that later. And I'm gonna be trying out the new attachment to this machine, and we're gonna be baking some chocolate chip cookies today, but we're gonna be doubling the recipe to kind of show y'all what all she can handle. And so yeah, let's get started. Okay, so let's just start out with the lovely, slightly boring specs that are very important that you need to consider when purchasing a mixer. Now, this is the white Bosch Universal Mixer Plus. It also comes in black, and the black Universal Plus actually has the stainless steel bowl. So that's one thing there that people kind of prefer, is instead of a plastic bowl, it being the stainless steel bowl, or maybe you also like prefer the black metal look over the white look here. Now that black Universal Plus, I guess because of the stainless steel bowl, it is a bit more expensive than this one. So this one, as of today, February 2025, this is running at $499 on nutrimill. Now, do know that I will be linking this below because I do have coupon codes for y'all. About 500 bucks for this one, roughly about $579 for the black Universal Plus, and that may give you a slight heart attack, but just hear me out, y'all. Just stay tuned. But that's the pricing right now. This is made by Bosch, but you will see that it is sold by nutrimill, which they are all under the same company. They're all owned by Le Chef is the parent company. And then you have the nutrimill Bosch brands that are under that. So but they're all pretty much the same company. Now, the wonderful thing is Bosch has been around for a long, long time. I've had people reach out saying that they've had Bosch Universal mixers that they purchased 30 years ago and still going strong. So the Bosch name and reputation is solid. I know with Bosch products that I am getting a good quality product. But basic specs with this is that they do come, as far as the size goes, both the black and the white are the same size, 15.5 inches wide, 11.5 inches deep, 10.75 inches high. So that's something to consider if, like me, you keep it under your countertop there, you know, space in the kitchen. Those are things to consider. The weight of both of these, the white one is a bit lighter at 12.75 pounds. The black is a little bit heavier at 14 pounds. Both of them have the wonderful suction feet. There are 4 suction feet on the bottom. So you push it down and it really allows your, it's really gonna hold your mixer down. So this does not wobble at all, pretty much. And I have thrown a lot at this baby, but those suction feet is gonna keep this down. This mixer, it's not gonna do that at all. Very, very, very sturdy. Now with the bowl capacities, this is one of the biggest differences between the white and the black, or mainly just the white plastic bowl and the stainless steel bowl, and that is the capacity of the dough. So this white bowl here can hold up to 14 pounds of dough, which is a lot, as compared to the black universal mixer only does up to 10 pounds of dough. That extra 4 pounds can certainly make a difference. So to give you a visual of this, my simple yeast bread loaf recipe cranks out around about 3 loaves of bread that are about 1.5-ish, 1.4 pounds each. 3 loaves. I can go up and do my big mama batch in this one where I can get 5 to 6 loaves of bread. With losing that extra 4 pounds of dough capacity, I am unsure if I would be able to go that high in the stainless steel bowl, mainly because I know that with those 5-6 loaves, this is at max capacity. So I don't think I could probably do that much in the stainless steel bowl, but I'm a mom of a large family, so that makes a difference for me. You may be smaller, who cares? It doesn't matter. You know, cranking out 3 loaves will probably be just fine. That's still much larger of a capacity than your standard KitchenAid style stand mixers. And you can also go a bit smaller. With this, I can do, you know, roughly about 1 or 2 loaves of bread in this as well. But that's the biggest difference. So keep that in mind between the plastic one and the stainless steel. You know, you do lose a little bit of that capacity. Now, both of them come with warranties. nutrimill does, or Bosch, whoever it is, but I guess through the nutrimill site, it does come with a 3-year warranty on your motor and transmission, a 1-year warranty on your plastic parts. So like your lid, your bowl, things like that, 1-year warranty on that. Now, one thing that makes this mixer shine is the motor capacity. So you may notice if you look up your specs on your typical stand KitchenAid type mixers, is those motors are anywhere from 2 to maybe 350 watts. Now, if you get the really stupid, crazy expensive professional ones that are more expensive than this mixer, you probably have a higher motor capacity, but again, it's more expensive than this mixer. But most of those are anywhere from 2 to 350 watts. This bad boy, she contains 500 watt motor. Now you may see on mine that it says 800 watts. And you may, if you find an older type Bosch Universal mixer, again, mine's only like almost 5 years old. And soon after I bought it, they then had to change the way that they labeled their motors. So where mine says 800 watts, and maybe if you see one used, it says 800 watt motor, but yet the new ones are saying 500 watt motor. I will link this down below in the description box. But basically it is the same motor, okay? They didn't change the motor. Basically what happened was the regulations changed of how you could label the motor or put it as a spec. So I do not understand that. Okay, but bottom line, it was regulations that changed as far as classifying the type of motor. But whether it says 800 watts or 500 watts, it is the same motor capacity, only the labeling regulations changed, if that makes sense. And again, I'll link that article down below. But bottom line, going with what they're saying now, a whopping 500 watt motor. And the other thing that this does, again, different that you may notice from other type of stand mixers, is you don't have the drive shaft coming down. It actually is here on the bottom coming up. That allows for a very high torque drive, very high speed drive. And with that powerful motor, what this translates to is the ability to handle the heavier doughs that we have with our 100% freshly milled grain dough. So I noticed with mine, the reason why my stand mixer gave up the Holy Ghost was because the motor just burnt out, and it probably could have lasted longer if I wasn't using heavier doughs. So that's one of the biggest reasons why me and other people recommend these more powerful motors, is because they are designed to handle those heavier doughs. And so they're gonna last longer, okay? Don't throw your money away and shorten the life of your appliance, you know, for something like this. Now, I will say, I started with my stand mixer because that's what I had, all right? Use what you have. It's okay, but just be aware of that. You may wanna upgrade. Okay, and so as I mentioned, let's talk about the design of this a little bit. And basically what it is the bowl here comes up, and this is one of the biggest differences between your typical stand type mixer that people think of, and it is because the drive shaft is down below and it sticks here on the motor. So again, I do like that. It makes it much easier to add in things here at the top because I'm not having to like squeeze through a motor or dough hook here. So it definitely makes it easier for things to come in, and then you just boop, lock it in there. And now let's talk about the things that it comes with. So if you were to buy it straight out of the box, what does it come with? And basically what you get is you get first whatever bowl it is. So whether it's the black universal mixer or the white one, you get whatever bowl that it comes with. It also will come with your dough hook. I love this dough hook. As you can see here, this is also a game changer when kneading dough because it's this double dough hook, and it does so much better of a knead than your typical single dough hook on your stand mixer. And I have something on here from when we made something, and give me a minute. I have found from personal experience that this type of dough hook just does a better kneading than your typical single dough hook that a regular stand mixer has. So that's the biggest thing. Now, do know this dough hook is all stainless steel, which I absolutely love. So for those, there's no plastic on this one. It also will come with your lid. So this is basically the splash ring that goes on here, you know, just that little bit of a guard, and then the full top cover here that goes on top. And I love the fact that I can completely cover this up. You also will receive the dough hook extension, which basically this is good for your smaller batches of dough to go down even further to help scrape it. Because right now you have this section, let me get a close up here. So right now you have it where it comes down scraping the bowl, and this, as you can see, extends it. So it gives you more scraping action. Spoiler alert, even whenever I have it on my largest Big Mama batch, I still like to use this. So this comes with it. I pretty much always use it whenever I'm making my doughs. And then last but not least, you do get your wire whisk attachments, and it is a plastic whip driver, which I somehow no longer have. So this is the metal whip drive. It doesn't come with metal. It does come with a plastic one that is meant for your wire whisk that come in. I have No idea what happened with my plastic one. I wonder if I threw it out whenever I got this one. But so pretend that this is plastic. Comes with the metal whip drives that then go in, and this just goes right down in there just like that. And you get the double whisk action as well, which is awesome. So regardless if it's the black or the white, these same accessories come with your Bosch. The only difference is whether you get the plastic bowl or the stainless steel bowl. All right, now let's talk about all the optional accessories. For both of them, they actually have 15 optional accessories and attachments. Now, the main one that I suggest that you just go ahead and get is their baker's pack. And that's because the baker's pack comes with cookie paddles, cake paddles, and your metal whip drive, which you need with those, plus the dough scraper and things like that. So if you like baking cookies, you do not use your whisk with that. You do need more of your cookie paddles or cake paddles to really help like cream the butter and stuff. Basically, it is like this typical paddle attachment that your typical stand mixers have. I mean, that's basically what we're going for, but they have gone with a little bit more detail. And so the baker's pack comes with your cake paddles, which these are the cake paddles. So you can see they are meant to get more air up in your cake batter, which you want. It also comes with the metal whip drive, which is what you need for your cookie paddles and cake paddles. So this is your metal whip drive. And then the baker's pack also comes with this additional extender and scrapers here. So let me show you how this is put together. So you have the little one. So first of all, you put your metal whip drive into here. This clicks into place right there. And then you add in your additional scrapers here and here. And then you add in your cookie or cake paddles that just snap in right here. Okay, so it's this weird alien looking contraption. So I know it looks weird. Then you just take that and you're just putting it right in here. So you remove whatever hook you have in there. And this, once again, just comes in here and it sits down. And the point of this is, as you can see, is that as this is rotating, so these all rotate when they spin, and then you have this one scraping the outside, and then the additional one right here that scrapes the inside right here. So it really helps to scrape all of that dough that you're using for your cookies, for your cakes, all of those type of things. Now, let me show you the difference between their old cookie paddles and their new ones. So same thing still applies. You still need that metal whip drive and everything, but these are the cookie paddles here. You can see that they are straight. These do very well. And this is all right here. This is all plastic. Same thing with the cake paddles. And now they've upgraded to these. So you can see I just got it, just came out of the box, and I haven't taken this out, but you can see here that they are slightly curved. Now they state that that is to help it incorporate all ingredients better. So here's side by side. They are pretty much the same height and everything, but the main difference is just the curve in these. It says that this is their Pro Line cookie paddles for optimal incorporation of ingredients. Yeah, so the main thing is just it's curved, okay? It still feels good. Solid. These are plastic, but they feel very thick, good quality plastic. Now, this is one thing I do want to point out right here. Now, they put it on here. I can't remember if it was on the originals. Do not use cold butter. This is legit, y'all. I broke a set of cookie paddles because my butter was not softened enough. So listen, heed to the warning. That is a legit warning. No cold butter on these, it will break. But that's basically it with the baker's pack. And I do recommend if you want to also make cookies in here, pick it up, okay? You will thank me because otherwise you won't be able to do that in here. And then what I do is, you know, I do have also the nutrimill RT, so I have double the attachments here, and I just keep them all in a little bin right above my mixers in my cabinet. So anytime I need it, I just pull it out, and whenever I'm done, you know, I just throw them in here, but it looks nice and neat. So I do recommend a little bin. Now that again is the one main attachment or package of attachments that I highly recommend you go ahead and get. All the other ones are kind of optional. And there are two ones that are actually currently not available to purchase. I do have one of them and they are supposed to be bringing them back. I'll get to that in a minute. But other optional accessories, and good news, most of these also are compatible with the nutrimill Artiste mixer. So if you have that one, keep that in mind with these attachments, but look on the website just to make sure it is adaptable. But basically other things to get besides the baker's pack, you can also get a large slicer shredder attachment. So basically like a food processor. You can get an ice cream maker here. You can buy the stainless steel bowl separately. So if you have the white Bosch Universal Mixer and maybe you want the stainless steel bowl, you can purchase that separately and it's going to work just fine. You can also purchase this bowl separately as well. So if you maybe wanted two bowls, that way you can double up on your cooking, you can do that. It also has two different blender type attachments, and that's what this tower here is for. It's for a blender attachment. This just basically comes off. And in here is where you pop the blender. And the two different ones that they have is a vacuum blender mixer attachment and then a normal blender attachment. You can also get a citrus juicer attachment, a flour sifter. You can also get a hand crank, so that way you can actually be mixing this up by hand with no power. There's also a food and meat grinder attachment and a spiralizer attachment. Now there are two others that are not currently for sale. And one is their oat flaker, and I have it, I use it, I like it, but unfortunately it is currently not available to purchase, and I'm really hoping that they bring it back. The other attachment are pasta attachments, which I did reach out to nutrimill about a month or so ago. They are working on redesigning their pasta attachments where you can roll out pasta, spaghetti, fettuccine, those type of things, but you attach it so it's electric. And hopefully they will be bringing those back this year. All right, so those are all the wonderful, lovely specs. Now, let me give you my opinion. Now, again, as I mentioned, I'm a power user with the Bosch. Ever since I got her, she's used almost every single day in my house. That's why I've named her. Her name is Betsy. She's one of my maidens that really helps me in my house. And so the one thing that I love, is she's just a workhorse. I have thrown so much at her and she's taken it with grace and beauty, as I would expect from a Bosch. I am able to like quadruple my oatmeal cookie recipe. I'm able to triple my chocolate chip cookie dough recipe. Absolutely no problem, which is excellent for those times that I'm doing these big batch cookings, or maybe I'm going to a potluck or something like that. The fact that I can do that all in one machine in one go is awesome. Also being able to do like a ton of loaves of bread. Like I said, in this one, I can do 5 or 6 of my loaves of bread at one time, which again, large family mama, saved me a lot of time. Now, the other thing that I love about mixers, period, is regardless of what mixer you have, is the ability to do the kneading for me, and I can walk away and do something else. It's because the kneading time in a mixer is a good 9 minutes. If I was to do that by hand, not only am I using my muscles, which is not a bad thing, but that would take maybe up to 15 minutes of my time. So being a busy mama, it is extremely helpful that she not only saves me time in the kneading process, but I just set a timer and I walk away and she's doing the work for me. So I can be doing other things like preparing my baking dishes, or dealing with my kids, or getting other things prepared for supper. So love about that. And that feature is good for any mixer that you may have, is the ability to free up our hands and a little bit of our time. Now, I do love the double dough hook technology that is with this machine and also the nutrimill Artiste. It's just that double dough hook. And whenever I did switch to that from the typical single hook, I noticed a difference in how my bread loaves, how that bread dough specifically turned out. And it's just, it kneads it so well. It's nice and soft. you know, I do love that. I also love that she's a very sturdy machine. Like I said, I have never really seen her rock. Even whenever I have this at max capacity, maybe a little bit, like, you know, a little bit at full max capacity, but otherwise, she's as solid as a rock. Now, I will say, here are some things that I don't want to say I don't like, but things to be aware of that I've noticed in the 5 years of me using this machine. Mainly because this part here is plastic. A part of it, one here that actually attaches to this, it did break off. I can replace this. Okay, no harm, no foul. I can replace this. And honestly, I think it was probably my fault too rough getting that together. But the fact that this is plastic and not like a metal does mean that, you know, it possibly may break or chip or something like that. So it's only this little section here. Let me show you. So part of the lid right here that has broken off compared to, let me show you the other, see how that's solid. And then that broke off. Good news is that this still attaches just fine. I don't have flour coming out of it, you know, so that's why I haven't replaced it, because it's working just fine. But the fact, you know, those plastic parts, I will say a minor thing, very minor thing, is how this lid goes on, fiddling that, and then this here, especially compared to the nutrimill Artiste, which I did a full video comparing those two mixers. And I like the lid better on the nutrimill Artiste because it's one that to open it up, you slide open, close it. Where this one, you know, I have to like make sure it's lined up right. Again, like stupid minor thing, okay? But there you go. So I just like the lid better on the Artiste. It just makes it a little bit quicker and easier to throw in ingredients, but this is still a good lid because I do love that this is fully covered, which I did not have with my typical stand mixer. Now, the only other thing that I do not like is cleaning this, and that's mainly because I do not have a dishwasher. Here are the things that are dishwasher safe. The plastic whip drive, the wire whips, the stainless steel bowl, and this plastic bowl are all dishwasher safe, including your lids are dishwasher safe, and the plastic dough hook extender is also dishwasher safe. They do recommend to hand wash the dough hook, probably because it is stainless steel, to keep it nice and shiny. You want to hand wash this, and you do want to hand wash the drive shaft here at the bottom. So with that being said, this is the most annoying part to keep it clean, is the fact that this drive shaft, I have only been noticing this the past month or so, where I'm starting to get like some rust, not on the drive shaft, it's actually here in the mixer. Just today, I've only just started noticing this. Again, it's been 5 years. So I need to get in with like a toothbrush or something and really get that wiped out. Now, this is not contacting my food. This is not anywhere near my food. But I would say after 5 years, considering I'm just now really having to worry about that, I wonder if what happened is my kids are my dishwashers. And I think what happened is they've been putting the drive shaft in here while wet. And that is now causing some rust, not on here, but on here, where this goes into like that. I am starting to see some rust, and it's getting everywhere. So I do now need to clean that out. I am unsure how I'm gonna do that, probably a lot of paper towels. So that's one thing that I would recommend, is make sure that this is completely dry before putting in, to prevent, because this is metal right here, that's solid metal, and it is rusting a little bit. So that's the thing. But again, I can, if all else fails, I can replace this drive shaft if I ever need to, which this is working very well. It's very solid. But again, as far as not having a dishwasher goes, you have to hand wash this anyway, but it has all these little crevices. Get you a toothbrush. But then this right here, inside here, is very annoying, and all of these little crevices here to wash. Again, it requires a toothbrush and probably like a bottle brush to get this. Again, not the end of the world, because none of this is touching the food. Okay, so I typically don't stress, like if I'm seeing, basically what I see here is like grease, oil type stuff from which you need to keep it going. So that's the main thing, is keeping this clean. And then this part here, the center, this, you can see here, I purposely left it in but so you could actually see it, because this, trying to get it, you do need like a toothpick or something to clean that out, or a toothbrush. Things will get stuck in here. Things do get stuck in these little grooves. So it just, for not having a dishwasher, okay, you need a good toothbrush, some toothpicks to really clean that out. And dough is not always the easiest thing to clean. So that's one of the biggest things. And I think that would happen with any type of mixer that I have, to be honest, is just with the lack of a dishwasher, I have to really make sure that I get in to those little crevices myself, or my kids, teaching them how to do it. But other than that, the cleaning is not bad. If you have a dishwasher, ignore everything that I've just said, because it will be easy for you. But otherwise, like honestly, I had to kind of find some negatives to share with you, because overall, I don't have negatives. I love this machine. I do believe she's going to stick around for a very, very, very long time. And again, if any part itself breaks down, or I break it because I was an idiot and used cold butter with my cookie paddles, you know, I'm able to replace those parts, which I love. But other than that, I love this machine. She is just as important as my grain mill and my oven and my refrigerator in my kitchen. Okay, y'all, so now it's my favorite part. Let's test out the machine, specifically the cookie paddles that we will be doing. Let's do a double batch of my chocolate chip cookie recipe. Now, the recipe will be linked below. I have done a dedicated video about it before, but I've kind of tweaked some things. I no longer sift the flour, and I do make my cookies a bit smaller than that video. So, but that's all reflected in the recipe, and let's see what this bad boy can handle. Okay, so here we are with our bowl. We have that in, drive shaft in, and now we take our whole like scraper things, new cookie paddles, just set these in here. Here we go, we add these in, and then remember, I am doubling my cookie recipe. I actually can triple it in here, but I don't have enough chocolate chips to triple it, so we are just doubling it. All right, so that got the butter nice, light and fluffy. It is doing very, very well. I will say, I can tell watching it that these are mixing a little bit differently. Like it looks different as it's mixing, but yeah, so far so good, and that is perfect. And now we can add in our other ingredients. We now have cookie dough. That is amazing. And no, I'm totally not eating raw cookie dough right now. Not at all. Okay, so as you can see, this is doubling the recipe, and I still have room. Like I said, I can triple this recipe just fine, and I don't change a thing. Everything incorporates so well. The only difficulty is whenever you have a larger recipe, it is harder to get these out, because you do have to kind of twist a bit, and then they come out, and then I just scrape it all off, then give the cookie paddles to my kids to lick off and be a cool mom. They love it. And now we're ready to bake up these cookies, freeze the dough, whatever it is that I'm wanting to do. So I'll see you back here when these cookies are baked. All right, and we did it, y'all. Look at all of these cookies that I was able to make in one batch. And again, and we've even eaten a few. maybe more than a few, but so it was even more than this. And this was in one batch. And again, I could have done triple the batches. This was just a double batch, but how awesome is that? Especially for cookies, because I could have chosen to freeze some of the cookie dough, you know, so you can really do those batch baking days. But that's it, y'all, for the Bosch. Again, bottom line overall, in case you didn't pick up on this, but I love Miss Betsy, and I am so thankful to have her because she is just one of my most used tools besides my grain mills and my oven in my kitchen. So let me know actually in the comments below if you have the Bosch. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know what mixer you have and what you love about it, or maybe what mixer you're looking to get, and any questions there, and we can help each other out. So thank you all so very much for watching this video. If you would like to see a comparison between the Bosch Universal Mixer Plus and the nutrimill Artiste, which I have behind me, then be sure to check out this video here. And then if you actually want to see the video where I make the chocolate chip cookies, it's extremely old and I need to remake it, you can check that out here. As always, I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week. Bye.